Hello, dreamers, and welcome back to Dream Queen by Perla. As always, guys, thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, I encourage you to do so. It helps with growing the channel, getting the video out there for more people, as well as keeping me accountable. For personal readings, all that information can be found down below in the description. Cancer, this is your weekly reading, energy reading. And again, guys, these are general readings, so only take whatever applies and leave the rest. We have this energy of taboo. And give me a second, excuse me. One of my kids is texting me. So, and for those of you, again, that are new to the channel, I only answer when it's my kids, because they're in school, or if it's one of the schools. Other than that, I'm off to the world. But if you see me reaching for my phone or something like that, I check, because that's it. Anyways. There is this energy of like a taboo, something that is not spoken of, something that is not looked at, something that is hush hush. Now, for anybody, that can mean many different things, right? And some families is you don't talk about your sexuality, right? Your sexual preferences. In some families, you don't talk about your financial issues. In some families, or certain cultures, you don't talk about you know what your dreams and hopes are. It's like, this is what you're going to do. So that's the kind of like the energy that I'm picking up. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something spiritual, in the sense of like leaving a religion or anything like that. It is doing something or thinking about doing something that is does not fit, let's put it this way, the perfect portrait of your family, like, whether it's just your close unit or your extended family. There is that type of like taboo type of thing, energy that you guys are dealing with this week. Now, whether that is from you or someone around you, is causing stress. Something is causing stress on someone. And on a side note, let's just put it this way. For those of you that are a parent, and this is going to be for maybe just one person out there. For those of you that are a parent, especially if you're a male, because that's the way that it's coming in. And it's literally coming from like it radiates to my pinky, but it's really starting like right here, but it is rising all the way up my left, like into my heart. Whether it is that you have a child, let's put it this way, 15, 16, 17 years old, either gets pregnant or gets someone pregnant, because this is like the way that the energy is being picked up, or someone decides to leave school, or someone has been doing you find out somebody has been doing drugs or something like that. For those of you that are specifically male, be very careful that it's almost kind of like the stress from a situation, it can lead you to have kind of like a mini heart attack. Now, for those of you that and I'm not saying, I'm not sending anything to you or anything like that. That is just like the way that it's coming in. Whatever personal home situation that is coming in that is very stressful, because it is something that is taboo, or something that my kids didn't learn from me, how dare this and this and that. Be very careful that you don't allow that stress to turn into something else, because it's almost kind of like something that comes on very onset. Some of you may experience feeling more lightheaded, and this can be male or female. Whatever it is that is taboo, is causing somebody to have a physical reaction attached to their emotional response of whatever the taboo things is, right? let's say it this way. When I was I want to say I was 16. I may have been 15. I got my belly button pierced. I was with one of my older sisters in the city, in the village. It's so long ago. And I would manage to, because of course I didn't have permission to get it done for my parents, but she signed for me. Um, she was over 21 though. So yeah, so I think I was 16 because I think she was 21 when I got it done. But anyways, I managed to hid it from my parents for months. And one stupid day, I was wearing a tank top or a t-shirt, whatever it was, but it wasn't long enough, and I went to reach for something, and like a little piece of their earring was hanging, and my mom saw it and freaked out. And until this day, I remember like she became so overwhelmed with it, and she suffers from like certain things, and but her blood pressure was like skyrocketing, and it's like at that point it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, it's already done. Like, I could take it off, but I already did it, so it's kind of like, you know what I mean. So it's almost kind of like that taboo. So like for my mother specifically, that was a huge thing. That was something that you just don't do, like, especially if you're that young, right? There's certain back then anyways, a certain stereotype that would get their belly button pierced. So it's almost kind of like, when I say taboo, that's kind of like the way that I want you to look at it. I don't want you to think that your child or you or someone near you is going to join a cult or anything like that. It is, when I say taboo, it's just anything that is not considered norm, either within your family or within your community, and it can bring about a lot of stress to someone. So let's go ahead and let's pull out 3 tarot. So we have the 2 of Wands. No, excuse me, guys. The 3 of Wands in the reverse, the Page of Swords, and then the Justice card are both in the upright position. So there is a sense like, you can fight this, or you can try to stop whatever this taboo thing is, if it is one of your child, or if it is a family member, or if somebody's trying to stop you. But it's almost kind of like a, to what end, right? If somebody's going to go down a certain path, they're going to go down a certain path, regardless of whatever it is, until they themselves decide that that's not a path that they want to go, or that's not a path, that's not the way that they want their life to go. We can share our experiences to give insights to people, but there's always kind of this thing my dad always says. He says, nadie aprende con la cabeza de nadie. And it basically means nobody learns with someone else's head, which means not everyone learns from everyone, like from someone else's experience, right? Because regardless of whatever the age you are, we always think that we know better. We always think that we're going to handle something differently. And in reality, most of the times we don't. And that's kind of like the way that you have to look at it with whatever this taboo thing is. So let's go ahead and let's put out a love energy card. A love energy. Ooh, that's too many cards. We'll take the first card, which is the revenge card. So we're using the dark mirror deck. So revenge, number 23. So again, maybe if it is a child, or maybe if it is you, or whoever it is, maybe they're doing something taboo, or they're doing something to the extreme, to get back at someone, or to get back at the way that they were brought up, or maybe to get back of all the restrictions and all the rules that you have for them as a parent, or whatever it is. There's definitely this energy of something being fed or started up because of revenge. But just because something starts in a vengeful way doesn't necessarily mean that that is not part of their path. They were going to get to that space sooner or later. It just may happen a lot sooner than what they might have been expecting or you were expecting. So when you have energies like that, you have to decide what battles within that energy you actually fight. Like growing up, and growing up where I grew up, anyways, there was this thing where, I would hear of young girls, 15, 16, 14 year olds whose mothers um would take them, like force them to have abortion because they got pregnant so early. And what I'm about to say next is not in any way, shape, or form condoning or encouraging teenage pregnancy. But what I've seen throughout the years, that a lot of those girls, unfortunately, I know one ended up in jail because ended up trying to kill her second child. A lot of them ended up in not so very good relationships. Let's put it that way. Some of them ended up having their, like, as they got older, a lot of them literally disconnected from their parents. And then I have some that I know that had kids, that have 14 or 15, and are doing amazing, right? And didn't necessarily pop 5 kids back to back. Some of them still only have one. Some of them had more kids when they got older. What I'm trying to say is that when we try to force our own viewpoint or our own beliefs on others, we can make our own will on others. Let's put it that way. We can make their journey a lot harder for them, just so that we are seen in a certain light. And that's not our job to do. So we're going to go ahead and apply a closing message. Give me one card. Bring love into a situation. The new moon in Aquarius. When somebody is doing something, let's put it this way, because they're vengeful, they want to have revenge on someone else. There's usually this lack of understanding for each other. There's a lack of sympathy or empathy or both. There is somebody that feels like they're not heard, feels like they're not loved, and they're trying to fill that love with whatever this taboo thing is for them. But in reality, it is not your place to say. And I get it. When you have a 14 or 15-year-old, you don't want them to get pregnant. You don't want them to get somebody else pregnant. But once they are pregnant, especially if it's a girl, right? Not so much like, the guy, if you get somebody pregnant, but once you're pregnant, you're considered an adult in the United States. And as uncomfortable as that may be to some people, it is a reality, right? And that child, because they are still a child, should have a say. But should also, what you should do, let's put it this way, if you are in a situation where you have a daughter, a teenage daughter that's pregnant, is be very clear on how things are going to proceed. I'm not telling you to spoil them. I'm not telling you to tell them that it is okay, because it most certainly is not. They can't even freaking support themselves. How the heck are they going to support a child? But to every family, it is different, right? But what I'm trying to say is don't force your will on someone else, and instead try to at least understand where this child or whoever this person is that is doing something taboo is coming from before you judge them. And I know this is going to hit certain people a certain way, and there's really not much I can do about it. Well, guys, that is all I have. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Mwah. Bye-bye.